Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Mind Palace, the podcast where we unravel the intricate threads of Hindu philosophy, mythology, and history. I'm your host, Dr. John Watson, and as always, I am privileged to be joined by the master of deduction himself, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
A pleasure, Watson. The subject today is particularly vast. Attempting to define Hinduism in a single conversation is akin to capturing the essence of the entire ocean in a single teacup, a formidable yet fascinating challenge.
Indeed! And that's exactly our goal. For our listeners, both new and familiar with the topic, let's start at the very beginning. Sherlock, what is Hinduism?
A deceptively simple question. The term Hinduisms is an exonym, a name given by outsiders, specifically the Persians, to describe the people and traditions beyond the Indus River. Many practitioners prefer the term Sanatana Dharma, which translates to the eternal law or eternal way.
Sanatana Dharma. That has a much more profound ring to it. It implies a set of principles that are timeless, not bound by a single founder or a specific historical event. Is that a fair assessment?
Precisely. Unlike many other major religions, there is no single founder, no single scripture, and no single set of beliefs. It's an amalgamation of diverse traditions and philosophies that have evolved over millennia, making it the oldest living major religion in the world.
If there's no single scripture, where does one begin to understand its core tenets? What are the foundational texts?
The foundation rests upon the Vedas. The word Veda means knowledge. They are considered Shruti, which means what is heard. The belief is that they are not of human authorship but are divine revelations heard by ancient sages or rishis in deep states of meditation.
So they are considered direct divine truth? How many are there?
There are 4 primary Vedas: the Rig Veda, containing hymns to the gods; the Samaveda, melodies and chants; the Yajur Veda, sacrificial formulas and prayers; and the Atharva Veda, which includes spells, incantations, and philosophical hymns.
And within these Vedas, I've heard of the Upanishads. Are they separate texts?
No, they form the concluding part of the Vedas and are therefore also known as Vedanta, the end of the Vedas. They are the philosophical heart, moving away from ritualism towards deep metaphysical inquiry into the nature of reality, the self, and the divine.
This leads us to the core philosophical concepts then. What is the ultimate reality according to the Upanishads?
The ultimate reality is termed Brahman. It is the uncreated, eternal, infinite, and all-pervading ground of all existence. It is the cosmic principle, the source from which everything arises and to which everything returns.
So, Brahman is God?
Yes and no. It is not a personal God in the Abrahamic sense. Brahman is often described as neti-netis, not this, not that. It is beyond all attributes, a formless, genderless, absolute reality. This is referred to as Nirguna Brahman.
If the ultimate reality is formless, where do the thousands of Hindu gods and goddesses come from? This is a point of great confusion for many.
An excellent question. For the purpose of human devotion and understanding, the formless Brahman manifests with attributes. This is Saguna Brahman. The myriad gods, or devas, are seen as various manifestations, powers, or aspects of this one supreme reality, Brahman.
So, it's not strictly polytheism, it's more like seeing different facets of the same diamond?
Aptly put, Watson. It can be described as henotheistic, monotheistic, or even monistic, depending on the school of thought. The central idea is ekam sat, vipra bahuda vadantis from the Rig Veda. Truth is one. The wise call it by many names.
Let's talk about some of these names. The most prominent grouping is the Trimurti, correct?
Correct. The Trimurti represents the 3 fundamental cosmic functions of Brahman. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer, or, more accurately, the transformer.
Hey, tell us a bit about Brahma. He seems less prominent in worship today.
Brahma's role of creation is considered complete for our current cosmic cycle. Therefore, the focus of worship shifts to Vishnu, who maintains the universe, and Shiva, who governs its eventual dissolution and renewal. Mythology offers other reasons, but functionally, this is the most logical explanation.
And Vishnu, the preserver, he is known for his avatars, his incarnations on Earth.
Indeed. Whenever Dharma, cosmic order, righteousness, and duty declines, Vishnu descends to Earth in an avatar to restore it. The most famous of these are Rama, the ideal king and hero of the epic Ramayana, and Krishna, the divine statesman and charioteer in the Mahabharata.
Which brings us to Shiva. The destroyer sounds so final, almost malevolent.
A common misinterpretation. Shiva's destruction is not evil. It is a necessary part of the cycle. He destroys to recreate. He is the Lord of time, change, and transformation. He is also the ultimate ascetic, representing the meditative power to transcend the material world.
And what about the divine feminine, the goddesses?
The feminine principle, Shakti, is vital. The Trimurti are complemented by the Tridevi. Saraswati, consort of Brahma, is the goddess of knowledge, arts, and wisdom. Lakshmi, consort of Vishnu, governs wealth, fortune, and prosperity. And Parvati is the consort of Shiva, representing divine power, love, and devotion.
So there's a balance of masculine and feminine energies at the highest level. Beyond these six, who are other important deities?
Ganesha, the elephant-headed son of Shiva and Parvati, is universally revered as the remover of obstacles and the god of beginnings. Then there is Hanuman, the monkey god, who embodies selfless devotion and strength. The pantheon is incredibly rich.
We've discussed the ultimate reality, Brahman. What about the individual reality, the soul?
The individual soul is the Atman. It is the divine spark, the true self within every living being. A central tenet of the Upanishads is Tat Tavam Asis, that thou art. It means the individual Atman is, in its essence, identical to the universal Brahman.
Thy Vol is divine. That's a powerful concept. What is its journey?
The journey of the Atman is through samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This transmigration of the soul is not seen as desirable but as a state of bondage to the material world.
And what propels this cycle? I assume this is where the concept of karma comes in.
Precisely. Karma is the universal law of cause and effect. Every action, thought, and intention creates an impression, and these impressions determine the future circumstances of the soul. It is not divine reward or punishment, but a natural law like gravity.
So one is the architect of one's own destiny. Is there an escape from this cycle?
Yes, the ultimate spiritual goal is moksha, or liberation from samsara. It is the realization of the soul's true nature and its unity with Brahman. It's the end of the cycle and the attainment of ultimate, lasting peace.
You've mentioned cycles, Sherlock. This brings me to another fascinating topic, the Hindu concept of time. It's not linear, is it?
Not at all. It is cyclical and operates on a scale that dwarfs human comprehension. The fundamental cycle is a Mahayuga, or Great Age, which lasts for 4.32 million human years.
4.32 million years? How is that broken down?
A Mahayuga is composed of 4 smaller yugas or ages. First is the Satya Yuga, the age of truth, lasting 1.728 million years. Then the Treta Yuga, the Dvapara Yuga, and finally the Kali Yuga, our current age of darkness and conflict, which is the shortest, lasting 432,000 years.
So, we are in the most degraded age. That's a rather pessimistic view, isn't it?
Or a realistic one, depending on your interpretation of world events. However, it is also said that liberation is easiest to achieve in the Kali Yuga, as the required effort yields greater results.
Doesn't stop at a Mahayuga, does it? I've read about even larger cycles.
Correct. 1,000 Mahayugas, that's 4.32 billion years, form one kalpa, which is just one day in the life of the creator god Brahma.
A day of Brahma, 4.32 billion years. That's roughly the age of the Earth. It's astonishingly close to modern scientific estimates.
An intriguing correlation. A kalpa is followed by a night of Brahma of equal length, a period of cosmic dissolution known as pralaya, where the universe is dormant. Then, Brahma awakens and creation begins anew. This cycle of kalpas is, theoretically, endless.
This vast cosmology must be described in texts other than the Vedas. Which scriptures tell these stories?
These narratives are primarily found in the Smritis literature, meaning what is remembered. This includes the 2 great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and the Puranas.
The Mahabharata is the longest epic poem ever written, isn't it? And it contains the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. The Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between the avatar Krishna and the prince Arjuna on the battlefield. It is a concise and brilliant summary of core Hindu philosophies, particularly on duty, action, and the paths to liberation, a masterpiece of spiritual literature.
And the Puranas? And the Puranas.
The Puranas are encyclopedic texts that elaborate on the stories of the gods and goddesses, the cosmology, genealogies of kings, and philosophical concepts. They were instrumental in spreading these ideas to the general populace through storytelling.
Sherlock, which of these concepts do you, personally, find the most logically elegant?
The law of karma. Its impartiality is flawless. It removes the need for an arbitrary divine judge, replacing it with a self-governing, rational system of cosmic justice. Every individual is responsible for their own state. It is the ultimate principle of accountability.
A very Sherlockian answer. Now, we must address a more contentious aspect, the caste system.
Indeed, the scriptures mention a system of 4 varnas, or social classes, based on aptitude and occupation: Brahmin scholars, Kshatriyas warriors, Vaishyas merchants, and Shudras laborers. This was intended to be a fluid system based on one's nature, not one's birth.
But it devolved into a rigid hereditary hierarchy.
It did. The social reality of jatis, or birth-based castes, became a rigid and often oppressive structure. It's crucial to distinguish this social corruption from the philosophical ideal which many Hindu reformers have argued against for centuries, citing the core principle of the divine Atman in all beings.
Another point of confusion is idol worship. How is that viewed from within the tradition?
The image, or murtis, is not seen as the god itself, but as a consecrated focal point for meditation and devotion. It is a way to make the abstract, formless divine accessible to the human mind. The devotee invokes the presence of the deity into the murti to establish a connection.
So it's a tool for worship, not the object of worship itself.
Precisely, it is a conduit, not the destination.
Sherlock, we have journeyed from the dawn of creation and Akalpa to the liberation of the soul, from the highest philosophical texts to the epic stories. It's a breathtaking scope.
It is a tradition that has something for every type of human mind. For the intellectual, there is the deep, non-dual philosophy of Vedanta. For the devotional, the path of bhakti with its rich mythology. For the active, karma yoga, the path of selfless action. It's a complete ecosystem of spirituality.
If you were to give a final, summary deduction on the nature of Hinduism, what would it be?
That its greatest strength is its pluralism. It doesn't demand exclusive adherence to a single path, but acknowledges that different paths can lead to the same ultimate truth. It is less a religion and more a vast, ever-expanding library of spiritual sciences.
A library of spiritual sciences. I like that very much. Well, Sherlock, our time, unlike a Mahayuga, is limited. This has been a truly illuminating discussion. Thank you.
The pleasure, as always, was mine, Watson. Watson.
And thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this journey. We've laid the groundwork today, but there is so much more to explore. We began our talk with the most foundational texts, the source of all this knowledge. So join us next week on The Mind Palace as Sherlock provides a deep and thorough, in-depth analysis of the Vedas themselves. We'll explore their hymns, their structure, and their profound impact on human thought. Until then, stay inquisitive.